Are you struggling with PHP unit tests in Laravel while working with multiple databases? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common issue that many developers face when trying to set up their testing environment. I totally get it. Setting up multiple database connections can be tricky, especially when you want to ensure your tests run smoothly. It's frustrating when you encounter errors that seem to come out of nowhere. Here's the specific situation we're addressing. A user reached out saying they are developing an application with multiple database access and want to run PHPUnit tests. They have set up their connections in the config file and specified the database connection in their PHPUnit XML file, but they are facing a PDO exception error. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what could be causing this error? The message indicates that Laravel is not recognizing the memory value for the database connection. This can happen if the configuration isn't set up correctly or if the environment variables are not being parsed as expected. And stick around. At the end of this video, I will share a crucial tip that can help you avoid similar issues in the future. To begin resolving the user's issue, we need to ensure that the database connections are correctly configured in the PHPUnit testing environment. The user should verify that the database connection settings in the phpunit.xml file are properly set up. Next, the user should check the database configuration in the config database.php file. They need to ensure that the connections for SQLite are defined correctly, especially for in-memory databases. Now the user should confirm that the environment variables in the .env file are set correctly. The DB connection should be set to SQLite, and the other database settings should not conflict with the in-memory configuration. Finally, the user should run their tests again. If the error persists, they may want to clear the configuration cache to ensure that Laravel is using the latest settings. Fun fact. Did you know that the concept of in-memory databases dates back to the early days of computing? They allow for super fast data access, which is perfect for testing. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution suggests clarifying where the memory value is placed. In the phpunit.xml file, ensure that the DB connection is set to SQLite and the DB database is set to memory. This should work if the SQLite connection hasn't been modified. That's all for that response. Let's see what someone else had to say. An alternative approach involves using a trait in your model classes. In the phpunit.xml file, set the DB connection to SQLite testing and the DB database to memory. In the database configuration, define a connection for SQLite testing that uses memory, along with your MySQL connections. Create a trait for each database connection to set the appropriate connection based on the environment. For example, if the user model needs MySQL connection A, use connection A trait in the model. This trait sets the connection to MySQL connection A in production and SQLite testing in testing. For migrations, create a similar trait that overrides the getConnection method. This method will return the appropriate connection based on the environment, ensuring that migrations run correctly in both testing and production. Here's the tip I promised. Always ensure your environment variables are correctly set and parsed. This simple step can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to resolve the PDO exception error and get your PHPUnit tests running smoothly. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks on Laravel development.